Good afternoon. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you with video blog number 6 on the Vatican Dragons. So if you are on my Facebook page, you will see that yesterday I posted several photos that I took while I was out walking. I actually picked up the Vatican Dragons. First of all, there was just this one dragon, and it was a completely blue sky, nothing else in it, just this one dragon, which I was like, oh, just one dragon. Didn't really give it any thought. I was on my walk, and at about 30 minutes, I looked up again, and there was this huge white Vatican dragon, huge, and there was sort of like a trail coming out the back, but in front were these two smaller dragons, which I immediately heard that was the Vatican dragon. But the two other dragons in front, which sort of looked, they smaller dragons, they said they were a papal escort, which, you know, papal means pope. So they were like the Pope's dragons escorting this beautiful white Vatican dragon who, as I've shared before, they're on a peace mission around the world. And then I really didn't get anything. It was just like they wanted me to see them. And this was, again, a huge white Vatican dragon. And as I said, once I see something like that, I know there are messages coming. So just probably half an hour ago, while I was showering, which seems to be when my dragons like to give me images, I was first of all given, again, this image. They keep showing me this rolling green. They're saying it's a green lawns, and there are not tombstones, there are markers. And then I heard that this was Arlington Cemetery, which is in Washington, D.C. And then I heard the words, the tomb of the unknown soldier. And that was, I was given an image. So of course I had to Google it. And sure enough, they were showing me the image of the tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington Cemetery, which it says is on a hill. So then I was like, that's sort of making sense. But I felt I was on or in this tomb of the unknown soldier because I could see the rolling hills, which is what they were showing me. But on the edge, what caught my eye was the forest. And then I got that to be careful of the darkness, that the darkness which was on the edge of these beautiful rolling greens. And then they were like, well, that's light and dark, and it's the war. I've got to keep looking at this because it came in really fast. That it was the war over. This is the war over light and darkness. And then I was like, that still wasn't really making sense for me. So then I decided I would go to my pendulum and ask, was this associated with the Vatican Dragons? And I got a wishy-washy. Usually I get a positive yes or a positive no. So for me, it's circling left and circling right. And I got the backwards and forwards. And I'm like, so then I kept asking. And this is what I eventually picked up, that many dead, they were showing me cemeteries. This was military associated, and it was about military targets. And then sort of the penny dropped, right? So I'm like, oh, you're giving me a message, which is, so this is where the Vatican Dragon comes in. They're on a peace mission going around the globe, and they're looking for those of us that are open to hear their message. And they told me that many more people are going to be sharing this. And it is, I mean, it makes sense after what's been going on politically that that there is going to be retaliation. There are going to be many dead. So they said to me, write this down and date it, because you're going to be surprised as to the accuracy of these predictions. And also they were then went on to say that this would be unexpected targets that they're showing me again, unexpected targets. So what they wanted to draw my attention to was the fact that it's a military retaliation, right? Got it. Because sometimes I get bits of words and I have to put them together. And they were like, you have a platform, please share it. And again, they said many more people will be seeing these images, will be seeing what is going to happen. So it's really for us to be very careful. I've already said, any of you that know me personally, that I'm not going to any large events. I'm not going to any cities. I live outside of Boston, so there's no way I'm going into Boston. No like federal buildings or anything like that. Just keep yourself safe. I think that's the message, and not to panic, because all of this is meant to happen, right? And that is always, when I hear this from other people, I'm like, it's meant to happen. But this is all part of our ascension. And, it's really, a lot of this isn't for us. This is all political. Unfortunately, us humans will be caught up in this. And it's like every major disaster, if we're meant to leave at that time, that is how we will leave. So again, this isn't meant to panic you, but it is. So what I'm realizing, that the Vatican Dragons that were released just after the Pope was announced, they also then showed me, just to cheer me up, they showed me, they were going the papal escort. So they showed me an image of this huge white, and again, these Vatican dragons have got more like feathers. They're very feathery, even though they're huge. So they've got huge white feathers. They showed me an image of the Pope in his white his whatever they call it, his white dress, holding on to the back of a dragon. So they're like, he does ride the dragons. So he has his own, this is the one I saw, this was his dragon. And they were saying, he's a dragon rider. We take him on rides. So, again, this is interesting how this is coming to me. I'm not somebody that has ever had predictions or ever heard them. I've had maybe in the past, sort of little things like Mother Gaia would be like, be careful. There's so much going to happen in July, and I'm not going to put this out there now, but I've certainly been reading that there's a lot of things predicted for July. So I think it's hold on. This is all meant to unfold in perfect timing. We need to stay in our power. We need to be very centered, very grounded. I just did a grounding, and I immediately heard, you need to be extremely, extremely grounded. We need to hold on. Otherwise, we're going to be shot out there, because the energy that is coming in to counteract. So, we're not alone. So the energy that will come in, that's why they were showing me the light and the dark. They were saying the light is coming in to sort of, and again, this sort of, I'm seeing, the ripple effect out. So there's a lot of light coming in. Some people are feeling these symptoms as our bodies are ascending, and as Earth is ascending, we're sort of, recalibrating. And I've certainly had quite a few of those symptoms of us of our chakras opening, a lot of sort of tingling. My left arm in particular, I get a lot of tingling in. Just lots of sort of things going on. So this was really just to bring you up to date on what was that sighting of those Vatican dragons, was to just give us a heads up, is what they're saying. They're like, they can't intervene. So that's also galactic. So we know that the galactics will do what they can, but unless that, they cannot override anything. They're there, and they're saying, we've got the lights, we're behind you. So I think we need to remember that. So, I will leave it there. And I'm sure there'll be more messages as the day goes on. If I get more, I will come back. But this is my video blog. I'm keeping a video record so that I can go back at some point and start writing some of this down. I hope I'm not right. I hope what they showed me, I'm not right about. But there you are, right? So please be careful out there, and I'll be back again soon.